Hello, I'm Emlyn Harris, the creator and writer of The Sexton's Tales, the BBC radio series which starred George Cole as the gravedigger of Highgate Cemetery. I first came up with the idea to the series when working as a tour guide for the charity trust that runs Highgate Cemetery. The notes we were given were not that interesting, so I started doing my own research and turned up some amazing stories about the people buried at Highgate Cemetery. That led on to an interest in graveyards and cemeteries, principally the symbolism and the architecture that has grown and grown and grown until today I'm considered something of an expert. I know it's weird to have a sort of hobby like that, but somebody has to. Up until the beginning of the 19th century, many of the then 5 million inhabitants of the United Kingdom had lived the same quiet rural life as their ancestors. A man quite feasibly could have woken in his great-great-grandfather's house, lying on his great-grandfather's bedstead, breakfasted on the same food, off the same plates, at the same table, done his ablutions in the same ablute, and then set off to ply the centuries-old trade of his ancestors. On his death, his mortal remains would have found their last resting place in the parish church graveyard. Cemeteries and churches tell us so much about our ancestors through their art and architecture. And as more and more people venture into these ancient places to seek out their ancestral graves, more and more questions are being asked about the significance of the symbols to be found on tombstones. Many of them have a meaning, and their understanding can reveal a wealth of detail. Here's an interesting inscription, IHS. You'll see it in virtually every cemetery in the country, but there's some dispute about what these letters actually signify. Some say that it's Jesus hominum salvator, Jesus the saviour of men. Others that it's in hac salus, safety in this, meaning the sign of the cross, while others still that it's in hoc signo, in this sign ye will conquer. IHS. Wow, this is fantastic. Look at this. It's not very often that you find something in a cemetery that's made of oak of this size. The architectural style is arts and craft. I mean, it's late Victorian, early Edwardian. The interesting thing about this, I just spotted, is there are different panels on each side. So at the front here we've got a panel that looks like a draftsman's desk with T-square and calipers, and then on this side it's carpentry tools. Fantastic. And then round the back here, well, that looks like a drum. Big drum. So what we've got around here. And here we've got a sickle and wheat. And all around the top there is a frieze of roses. It's fantastic. Sad to think that probably in about 50 or 60 years' time, this isn't going to be here anymore. Speaking with the rector of the parish church, she told me that this extraordinary monument marks the grave of the Gibbons family, a local firm of builders who had specialised in the restoration of medieval thatched and timber frame buildings. The last remaining members of the family had died tragically in a sailing accident off the coast of Fiji in 1987. The monument is rapidly falling into disrepair, and no funds are available for its restoration. Many of our ancient burial places are under threat from developers or even local councils who can no longer afford their upkeep, but there's a growing awareness that these acres are unique. They provide the visitor with an unrivalled wealth of information and an understanding of vernacular tastes and styles that simply cannot be found elsewhere. More importantly, beneath the tangled leaves of ivy, they offer a tantalising glimpse into the lives of our ancestors.